everybody, I'm Jessie Janae, founder of Lumi, and today we're going to print our own custom canvas Christmas stockings using Inko dye and a bit of sun. First things first, let me explain to you what you're going to need. First, you're going to need some red Inko dye. Now you can use any color, but I'm using red because of Christmas. We have the red print fabric with light kit, which gives you the accessories as well, or you can just have red Inko dye on hand. Then we're going to use some paper, pencil, some cutting device like scissors or an X-Acto knife, and we're also going to need the Inko Wash detergent for washing our stocking. Now I have a canvas stocking here. You could sew your own, or you can find and buy these at an art supply store. So let's dive right in. The first thing we're going to do is cut out some paper shapes that we're going to use to block light. Now, Inko dye comes out of the container, the bottle, or the snap pack translucent and develops its color in the sun. So that means that anything that blocks light can make a print on your fabric. The prints are permanent and will last through repeated machine washings. So using a thin paper, draw out your design. Now use holiday objects that you love. I went with ornaments and holly, but reindeer, snowmen, I mean there's so many subjects that you can enjoy for holiday. And I drew them out in shapes that I can cut out. Now my design is fairly intricate, so I'm actually going to use a blade knife to cut out my design, but if you have larger shapes, feel free to just go ahead and use scissors. The key is that you want clean shapes because we're actually going to use these to cast shadows on our stocking. Here are my shapes I cut out, and these are ready to go. I like the shape of them, they're looking good, and so now I can move on to applying my dye to my stocking. I'm taking my stocking now, and I'm going to put it right down on top of a project board. This is a board that comes inside the Lumi photo printing kit, but if you don't have one, you could also use cardboard. And set it down on your table. This board just serves a simple function of allowing us to pick up our project and take it outside when the time comes. Now for the fun part, we get to apply our Inko dye. If you have an Inko dye bottle, you can screw on an Inko cap roller and apply it that way, which is also what comes in the print fabric with light kits. If you don't, or you're using an Inko dye snap pack, which is what I'll use today, then here's the method. So with my snap pack, I'm going to give it a little shake, and then I'm going to snap it in half and squeeze some dye out. This is a good time to mention that when you're working with the unexposed Inko dye, which comes out looking clear, a little bit milky, you want to work away from natural light. You want to work in a garage or a dim area so your dye doesn't start exposing before you have a chance to put your objects down. So I'm going to coat this down. I'm going to coat the whole stocking, and I'm just going to leave the sash at the top uncoated. Now that your stocking is coated with Inko dye, you want to blot it off. This is just paper towel, and I'm going to blot off the excess dye. The optimum printing surface is damp, but not soaking wet or dripping. So just take your paper towel and really wipe off the excess dye until it just feels damp. Now I'm ready to design my stocking. So I'm going to take those paper cutouts that I have. I'm going to handle them carefully. Mine are sort of delicate. And put them down in place. Wherever you put your paper cutouts will be where they cast a shadow. So when you're placing them, be sure to think about how you want your design to turn out. I'll take my ornaments and put the finishing touches on this design. There, I'm really happy with where I placed my paper cutouts, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. There's one more important step though before I run outside and expose my print to the sun. I need to make sure that my paper is secured down flat against my fabric. There's a few different ways to do this. I could use push pins. So you can use a standard push pin, and you can actually secure the paper to your fabric that way. And it's especially helpful then that I have my board to hold the fabric and the paper all together. Or you can use something else to hold the paper down. I also have here a pane of glass. You could also use clear acrylic. I'm going to use this to hold my paper down and kind of push it down to make sure that it's really sandwiching it all tight. So choose what method works for you. If you're having trouble with your paper and it's curling, try using a thicker paper. I like using thin paper because when you overlap it, we're going to get some very interesting shapes from the overlapped paper because they're slightly translucent, but thicker paper that doesn't warp as easily can be easier to work with. Once your design is all held down in place by glass or pins, now you're ready to take it outside and let the sun do its work. Now we get to reveal our prints. I'm going to remove my glass or pins and take my paper pieces off my design to see what the sun has done. Now, the coolest part about this is that this is a permanent print. All we need to do now is throw this in the wash with some of our Inco Wash detergent. If I were to take this outside right now, the whole thing would turn red. So you don't want that. Just take a peek at your design and then throw it in the wash. The Inco Wash detergent is a professional strength detergent that helps remove the excess Inco dye so that your print will become permanent, it won't fade or rub off. The next thing you have to do is just figure out how to use your new creation in a fun way for the holidays.